Hello, this is artist, entrepreneur, and art educator Eric McRay. I was thinking very seriously about the idea of um, staying on your path and not allowing others to deviate you from your purpose and your direction in your life calling. So I'm gonna tell you a couple of quick stories. You're gonna find really amusing. So I was in art school. This is probably 1984, and there was a young lady I was dating, and it wasn't any major romance, anything, but we had a nice relationship. And she came by my apartment one time, and we were sitting there, and I was working on some things. And she says to me, you love me more than you love your. No, she said, you love your art more than me. And I turned and I looked at her, and I was incredulous that she would say something like that. And I met her in art school, and she says, you love your art more than you love me. I said, let me be clear with you. I said, when you're gone, my art will be here. I said, before I met you, my art was here. And after you're gone, my art will be here. And my art is who I am and a big part of my everything. So she, of course, took offense to that. And as you can see, I'm heartbroken over it. But obviously we're not together. This is 30 plus years ago, and that relationship ended. And she was a nice young lady, really sweet, but obviously we didn't have a long-term love connection. So, but the point was, she was trying to distract me from my purpose. And then there was another young lady I dated, and she was like, well, this guy, such and such, he has this kind of car, and this one's got this kind of stuff, and he has all these material things. And I said to her, I said, well, here I am, young man. I'm like, well, you got to keep in mind, I'm in college, and I'm on my purpose, and I've got these goals and these aspirations and things I want to achieve. And she was like, I said, so you're telling me that I need to get all these material things to make you happy? Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I said, well, you are saying that. So I have to have these things to meet your satisfaction. I said, well, you need to go be with him then. So I was like, boop, 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 away you go. So the point was, I wasn't going to let some woman's insecurity about how much attention I was paying her distract me from my purpose. I wasn't going to allow another female who was materialistic to get me hemmed up into debt and making buying an expensive car and a lot of material things and racking up credit card debt to please her, take me off my purpose as a young man. And when I was trying to get my education, and I knew the skill sets I was learning in college, and the development I had there was going to carry me much further, where if I wanted that type of car or this kind of thing, I could have it. And I could. And even today, certain things I could have, I don't have because it's not a priority to me. I'm not materialistic in that sense. Some people have to have all the toys and whatnot. I like freedom more than I like toys. I like the freedom to be able to get up and go when I want to, based off of my guidelines, not based off my debt and my monthly payments. So just recently I was talking to somebody, and they had this beautiful grandbaby, and I said, my God, that's a beautiful grandbaby. Now here's years later, I'm married, I have 2 children, and I waited later in life to have children. I was 40 when my first child was born. And for many years, my focus was building my career, building my studio, establishing myself as an artist, because often I heard people say in my generation, parents would say stuff like, well, if it wasn't for you kids, I could have done this and I could have done that. And, I sacrificed for you. And, I chose having children younger. So, but now I don't have these. And so these people seem so unfulfilled because they blame their children for not following their own pursuits and their own dreams and aspirations. So now the children become the scapegoat for why they failed at certain things in life or never were fulfilled. So I never wanted to blame my children. My children now, my son, Ethan Daniel McRay, travels with me when I go to the Comic Cons and so forth. I was 42 when he was born. He is so involved with my business and has worked with me since he was 4 years old. He can talk to my clients. He can sell art. He can, oh my God, He's amazing. I'm so proud of him. My daughter is such a skilled artist. She can do great portraiture. She's great in video and digital stuff. And now she's my assistant and working in my studio and learning about our business and how to expand it. I have no regrets about when I chose to have children. I had children at 40 and 42. Picasso had his first child at 40, matter of fact. But if I had chosen to put procreation and other people's pressures on me to have children when it wasn't my time to have it, thus let other people's values or their timelines affect my timeline, then I would have missed out, and that I would be guilty of like, well, I could, if it wasn't for you kids, I did not allow children at an early age or prematurely affect my life goals. So when my wife and I had our children, it was the perfect time for us. So now here I am older. I would love to have some grandchildren. I have friends who have grandchildren. But you know what? If I never see my grandchildren, I know that I would have done what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it. And I will see them. I'm working toward that. But when the right time for my children to have their children, and I will share that experience with them. But there are no regrets in how I chose to live my life. We always want what we want when we want it. It'd be lovely to bounce some grandbabies right now, but it's not the time or the season for that. There was a season for work and creation, and thus I chose how to build what I have, because one of the things I love, a quote I heard was that it was about the importance of living, not so you can live forever, but living that the things that you create will outlive you. And I've worked hard to build a legacy and build things that will far outlive Eric McRay. And that I impart in my children and also in the work that I create and how I've impacted the lives of many. I want that to outlive Eric McRay. And so you, as the individual out there, and you wake up every morning, it's that Billy Joel song, "This Is My Life, Leave Me Alone." So in a lot of ways, you wake up there's a line that says, regardless of what they say, you wake up with yourself. So every day you wake up with yourself before you wake up with anybody else. You wake up with your convictions, you wake up with your faith, you wake up with your values, all the things that matter to you. And then you have to be the architect of your life. Not the architect of your life when you're stepping on other people, but you have to move through this life without injuring others, but have the most fulfilling and beautiful life that you can have and that God will allow you to have and which you choose to have. And you have more power over your destiny than you ever will realize. So ultimately, I know that I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to do, and always striving for bigger and better. And I say to you out there, my friends who are in the same place, try to live without regret. Make your decisions, live with your decisions, work to have a fulfilled life and create the life that you want to have. But don't let other people take you off your path with their choices about how they should live. I've seen so many people tell me what I should do, and then you compare their life to my life now. They look so miserable, unfulfilled, bitter, angry, and I'm joyous. I look 10 years younger than most of those people that who felt like how they should tell me how to engineer my life. And I look at my resume and my accomplishments. My accomplishments will live 150 years into the future, and theirs will die with them. So everybody has to find their own destiny and make their choices. But don't let anybody, young or old, anyone with their own desires, pull you off your path, long as your path is not destructive or self-destructive. But don't let anybody pull you off a positive, substantive, quality, valued life or valuable path. Decide where you want to go and go. So thank you for taking time to listen. These things, I've been contacted much about the importance of my vlogs and how they impact lives. Please go back through. I have about a good number of vlogs post on my YouTube channel, Eric McRay on YouTube. And then you can see a lot of things where I addressed, the purpose of life and the purpose of an artist. So follow me online and take care.